What if I told you that there's an angel in your house right now, and you've been completely ignoring the signs? Not because you don't believe, not because you're blind to the spiritual world, but because nobody ever told you what the signs actually look like. Most people imagine angels the way movies portray them: bright lights, glowing wings, thunder in the sky, something impossible to miss. But that's rarely how it happens. In the Bible, angels often appeared in ordinary places, during ordinary moments, speaking in quiet ways that people almost overlooked. Sometimes the signs were subtle, sometimes they were woven into everyday life, and that might still be happening today. Here are 5 signs that you might not be as alone as you think. Have you ever noticed a certain message appearing repeatedly in your life? Maybe it's a verse from Scripture. Maybe it's a piece of advice someone once gave you. Maybe it's a theme like forgiveness, patience, faith, or courage. At first, you hear it in a video. Later, you see the same message quoted in a book or an article. Then, a friend casually mentions the same idea in conversation. Suddenly, it feels like that exact message is following you everywhere. You didn't search for it. You didn't plan for it. Yet somehow it keeps appearing in different places, through different people. Many people experience this when they are facing an important decision or struggling with something deep in their heart, and it almost feels like someone is gently trying to get their attention. Not forcing them, just reminding them, again and again, almost as if a quiet voice is saying, "Look here, this is important." Sign number 2. You feel protected during your weakest moments. Life has a way of bringing everyone to their lowest point at some time, moments when you feel exhausted, moments when your strength feels completely gone, times when you honestly believe you might not be able to keep going. You feel overwhelmed by problems, uncertainty, or loss. But then something strange happens. Right when you feel like giving up, a quiet strength rises inside you. You find the courage to stand up again. You take another step forward even though part of you thought it was impossible, and afterward you look back and wonder where that strength came from. Because it didn't come from your circumstances. Nothing suddenly changed around you. Yet somehow you were able to keep going. Many people describe moments like this as feeling supported in ways they can't explain, as if in the moments when they were weakest, something unseen was helping them stand. Sign number 3. A door opens when everything else seems closed. Sometimes life feels like a series of closed doors. You apply for opportunities and hear nothing back. Plans fail. Paths that once seemed promising suddenly disappear. You try different directions, but everything feels blocked, and eventually you start to believe there is no way forward. But then something unexpected happens. A new opportunity appears out of nowhere. Someone enters your life with exactly the help you needed. An idea forms that points you toward a completely different path, and suddenly a door opens. Not the door you expected, but a door you didn't even know existed. When people look back at these moments later in life, they often realize something surprising. The closed doors weren't the end of the story. They were part of the redirection. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually guidance. Sometimes the path you thought you lost was simply making room for a better one. Sign number 4. Your home begins to feel filled with an unusual peace. There are times when the world feels loud and chaotic. Stress follows you everywhere. Your mind keeps racing with worries about the future. But then something shifts. You walk into your home and feel calm, not because every problem has been solved, but because the space itself feels safe. The tension in your mind slowly fades. You breathe easier. You sleep better, and the atmosphere around you feels different, not strange, not frightening, just peaceful. Many people describe this experience as if their home has become a place of refuge, a place where they feel protected, a place where the noise of the world fades away. It's not something you can easily explain, but you can feel it, and that quiet peace can be more powerful than any dramatic sign. Sign number 5. A good thought appears at exactly the right moment. Sometimes the most important guidance in life comes through a simple thought. A moment when your mind suddenly shifts direction. Maybe you're angry and ready to respond with harsh words, but then a thought appears. Let it go. Maybe someone hurt you deeply, and every part of you wants to hold on to resentment. But a small voice inside your mind says, forgive. Or maybe you notice someone struggling. You could easily walk away and ignore it. But a thought appears. Help them. These moments may seem small, but they change everything. Because every time we choose kindness instead of anger, patience instead of frustration, or courage instead of fear, the world becomes a little better. And often those thoughts appear exactly when they are needed most, almost like a gentle nudge guiding you toward the better choice. So, here is the question worth thinking about. What if the moments you thought were random were actually reminders? What if the repeated messages, the unexpected strength, the open doors, the peaceful atmosphere in your home, and the quiet thoughts guiding you toward goodness were not coincidences at all? Maybe life is not as silent as it sometimes seems. Maybe help arrives in ways that are quiet enough to be ignored, not through thunder or spectacle, but through whispers, through small moments, through gentle nudges that appear exactly when your heart is ready to notice them. And maybe the real challenge isn't whether those signs exist. Maybe the real challenge is learning to recognize them. Because sometimes the signs you've been waiting for have been around you the entire time.